our 5-point hitting philosophy, our 5-point hitting fundamentals. First thing we're going to talk about, which is not part of our 5 points, is the grip and the stance. On our grip, place the bat down on the ground. I want you to put the bat in my finger. Your kids have a problem getting their elbow up. You may tell them that they have a problem getting their elbow up because the bat's in their palm. We want the bat resting in their fingers. You can check it by laying the bat down, gripping our fingers, and we come directly up. Okay? Now, on our hand placement, give me stance. On our hand placement, okay, this is individual for each kid. This is individual for each kid. We don't want it necessarily way up here. You don't want it way down here. But it's what's comfortable for him. To figure out where the kid's hand placement can be, take the bat, stand it straight out, and have him pull it back to where his hands rest comfortably as fast as possible. Ready? Go. That's where his hands should go, because that's where it's going to go comfortable, and you want your kid to be comfortable in the box. Okay? Have him do it as fast as possible. Now on our feet, okay? On our feet, what we teach is we teach a slight step with our outside foot to our heel. We call it instep to toe. So I got the instep of this foot. It's going to be lined up to the toe of this foot. Okay? It's going to be right there, and the weight is going to be on the inside of our feet, especially on our lead foot. The weight's going to be on our big toe, so these cleats can come up, and I can have plenty of relaxed positioning there. But that's our stance, slight flexion in our feet. If you're doing it with young kids, get back to square. If I'm doing it with young kids, I'm right under your feet. Feet right under, stand straight up. Put this foot in, stand straight up like you're standing like this. Okay, if you're doing it with young kids, you can tell them to take a slight step this way and this way, and that will put them in a balanced position. Okay, go. One step, there you go. And that is our batting stance that we teach. Now, our 5-point hitting, that being the plate, that being the line, okay, what we do is on our first point, we call it rhythm. Okay, we're in our stance, we've already taken care of our stance and our grip, we got to have rhythm. Your pitcher's going to have rhythm. Whenever he is throwing well, his timing is going to be the same every time. He's going to get it, and that's what they call pitcher in rhythm. Well, as a hitter, we want to be in rhythm because an object at rest is going to stay at rest unless we create some motion. Okay? So we bob our knees, we move our hands, we wiggle our hips. It's individual for the kid. You don't want to give them a rhythm that's uncomfortable for them. Okay? But you can't have them standing still like a statue. So phase 1 for us is rhythm. So Jake's going to get his rhythm. Get ready to go. Rocks his hands, rocks his hips back and forth, bobs his knees, whatever's comfortable for your kid. Now, phase 2 for us, we have a problem with our kids loading. So what we do is we create the load for them. And we do this in 2 ways. First one we do is a reverse stride. So phase 2 for us is we're going to take a slight step with our lead foot back. 3-inch step back towards our instep. Right there. Makes his hips go backwards. We call this a reverse stride. Okay? And he's still toe to instep. Phase 3 for us, we're stepping back over and we're gaining ground towards the plate. So we're going from toe to instep with your lead foot to the toe of your other. You're stepping in towards the plate. Go. That's 3. Okay? You got to check your kids and make sure the weight of his feet are not on the outside of his foot. It's still resting in his big toe. Because if it starts going here, he now has weight shift. His weight is shifting forward, and he's going to be prone to miss the curveball. So we're here at phase 3. Phase 4. Phase 4 is the most debated concept in baseball. It's what starts the swing. Technically, anatomically, what starts the swing for power is the hand and the lead hip act as a rubber band effect, and as it moves and creates tension, I create torque with my upper body. But if you say lead with your hips, sometimes the kid leaves his hands with his hips. He gets here, his front side flies, the hands drag, the barrel falls, so you can't say lead with your hips. Some people say lead with a back hip. Now once again, and this is a lot better than lead with the front hip, if I start my swing with my back hip, sometimes I still lock out, but it's not the worst. So what is grammatically correct? We teach our kids to start with the hands, and as the hands come and get in line with that back hip, now we have the hip start. So once these hands go here to the ball, the hip starts, and now we work in unison. Hitting is harmony, and you want the power swing, it's got to be harmony. This has got to work together with this. I'm now in a perfect position. Are you going to be in the perfect position when you hit? No. That's why you see people throw their hips, hit a flare over second for a base hit, and sometimes you see them square it up because everything's perfect, and they hit a line drive shot to third. But what we tell our kids, and it's not like I'm saying you have to start with your hands, but in our mind, if I know my hands are moving here, and as they line my hips up, it's all going to be more on time. If I say start with your hips, some kids open early, they can't hit the outer half of the play. If I say start with their hands, they're more on time. Sometimes they might get fisted on the inner half. I would take them getting fisted on the inner half because 95% of the pitchers aren't going to pitch it. They might do it more, but they're going to, by their third at bat, they're going to catch this. If we can protect more of this plate, we're going to be more successful. So what we do in phase 4 is we start with our hands, and we have 3 contact points. We have, for pull, we hit right outside of our foot. For middle, we hit right on our foot. And outside, we hit right inside of our lead foot. So we got 3 points of contact in phase 4. We're right here for pull. I want to make contact right there. My back hip is done rotating because I pass it rotates towards my and my knee is pointed towards contact. Okay, back to 4. We're right here in phase 4. I'm going to hit the middle pitch, hands started. I now rotate my knee towards it. My knee is going to point towards contact again, and that's when my perfect harmony shows up. Okay? And then back when I hit the outer half pitch, hands started, hips rotate, my knee is pointed there, pointed right at contact point, right inside of my lead foot. That's phase 4. Most discussed movement in baseball is the phase 4 for us. Now we're in phase 4. We've done made contact here. We're going to finish. When we finish, we tell our kids to hit 2 baseballs. Hit the original baseball and hit the high baseball. So we go here, here, and we finish. Can't tell kids to take their hands off the bat. You can't tell kids to keep their hands on the bat. It's what's comfortable for them. Okay? It's what's comfortable for them. If your kids get in this position, and after they've hit it, they fall forward, you're fine. If they get done, rotate on the foot out. If they get done and that foot's open and rolled up on their heel, that means their lead hip led too much. Led too much. So what we do with our kids, get in your stance. We get like this and we check them. So we go, ready? As I'm checking his stance. 1, checking his rhythm, make sure he's nice and relaxed. 2, 3, and then we'll tell him we're going to work middle, in, or out. So we're going to work middle for him. We're going to work middle, 4, right there, 5, finish. Okay, and we check it. If he's falling backwards, he's leading too much with his shoulders and front hip, falls forward, we like that. Because that's, we got our weight into the ball. Okay? Now, let me take it. Bar this back. Now, I said we had 2 ways that we did our load. Get in your stance. When we get to phase 2, we can combine phase 2 and 3 in what we call the load and extend. He's in his stance, got nice good rhythm. Notice his hands are different than what the first hitter was because it's individual. But we're all in our fingers, our elbows aren't flared, his are a little wider than the other one, but that's comfortable, the bats in his fingers. Got his rhythm in his hands. When we go, we're in 1 right now, rhythm. When we go our load and extend, we put phase 2 and 3 together. We're going to take our bottom hand and push it, and stride out with our front foot. Okay? Back to 1. So he's going to put 2 and 3 together in the load and extend. Ready? 2. Right there. This bat being here, we're creating a whip action. He's getting his foot down early. His weight is here. He doesn't have a problem loading. If your kids have a problem loading, teach them the reverse stride because that makes their hips go backwards. Okay? So we're right here in phase 3. His phase 4 and 5 are the exact same as the lead hitter. Okay, so we're going to hit middle, starts with our hands, hips get to contact. Notice this is perfect. Our knee is pointed right to contact, not over-rotating my front foot, and now he's going to finish. Okay, so I'm going to take him through the 1, 2s, and 3s. So he's got ready, check the stance. 1, his rhythm is good. I'm going to say 2 and 3 together. So I'm going to say 2 and 3. He's going to load and extend. 4, we're going middle. Finish, 5. Right there. Notice he releases, and the other kid did not. It's individual to the kid.